Ewa na ewa, londe modu, londe mi modu. Mama, kwanama, londe mada, londe mao, londe mada, londe buena, londe ye, una mwe, londe mo, abade kogo, londe mo, abade kogo, londe mo, abade kogo. Ewa na ewa, Muna me we longo mie, kuna we galonde lima, galonde manga bade bobo, anado bona oga egina, anado bona oga egina. Ewa oh ana ewa, londe wanu na muye, londe wanu na muye, londe wanu na wera boga egina ye. Ne wera boga egina ye, tono egana, longe ganyanga, ana egana lomo barenye, dua lomo bo anama, dua lomo bo anama. Ana ele ngabemwe, ana ele ngabemwe, ya kuna lomo miwa, ena wega londe miwa, ya londe manga wade ibobo. Yalone mama mate ibobo, ana elo, ewala, ana ewa, ewa, ana ewa, ana elo, elawa, yenawe, tomo miwa. Kuna mwiwe londe mimoe ya dempanga bade ibobo ana kwetu mo 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 ana adopanywe ana adopanywe ana mo adopanyo malongo na wasanyo malongo na wasanyo. Samela juwa ba walongo, samela juwa ba walongo. Enganwa kwale kamobo kabalo ne kubo. Ewa ana ewa londe wanu na muye ana ewa londe wanu na muye londe wanu na muye. Nuadana onganwa. Daona duale ngabemwe, duale kuna boke, nudeluko. Dawalie dilinyangena, diaka, na bebo agelo debo. Dawa pwede liba mwalo, kayele liba teo, kayele liba wolongo. Dale nyarela duongo webi. Nyamu we da mongu prie, nyanga duba duga monu kwe. Kedale ya malongo wo kubaleye. Kubaleye kweraga yekebo. Kubaleye kweraga yekebo. Ya moyo, ya mo kwabalo mema. Malone kubaleye yenga. Ya mo kwabale yenga. Ya mo kwabale yenga.
Good evening, folks. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the world. We say thank you so much for joining us here this evening, taking you to Greater Liberia, Bon County. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Where is Kemon here? Amos George will give the 4 interpretations of this song here. He doesn't even know his own dialect also. We want to say welcome. M. Lamint Dumuya, good to have you. Allison Mamin, thank you. You always here is one of our prime viewers, listener. We say thank you so much. Just hit the share button. If this is the first time, comment, Amber, Saros, Joe McGee of the System Network of KMTV. Thank you for all what you do for the community. And for keeping the wheel of the media industry spinning as well. Thank you so much for joining us, sharing your evening with us here. I am Alfonso Z and Sort of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Right here, taking you to Greater Liberia this evening. TGIF, thank God it's Friday. All right, let's get a ball rolling here. As you know, it is a tradition of this network always to unveil the beauty of Liberia. Thank you so much. Welcome to the show. All right, let's get it rolling. Let's get it rolling here. Too much is going on. Okay, let's pause this music. We say good evenings, good morning, good afternoon. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. You are on the official news outlet of the Liberia Public Radio. Welcome, my own sister, right there, based in the Salt Lake City of Utah. Sally, good to have you here. Grace, Adi Dion, Daniel, Famulet, why are Nina so hard nowadays? They few time here. Sarah Zuba and all of you. Venetians, good to have you here too. Let's get the conversation going. The light is unfolding in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia. We'll leave the microphone open here this evening. And we'll be having a conversation to right here on the Diaspora Informative News Magazine, Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Welcome to the show. Just do us a favor, look for the share button and just hit a share icon and invite someone to our company and tell them LPR is on. It's time to have national conversations. We make the new fair, balanced, and proportional. Let's get a ball rolling. Welcome, you know, the people Good evening, good morning to the West African state of the Republic of Liberia, to many of our viewers right here in the USA, to other parts of the world. We say welcome to this edition. That's the Friday editions of LPR TV Live with the Analysts. The Analysts very shortly, they were assembled and will begin to scramble on national conversation. And of course, you know the traditions of this network. We intend not to leave no one behind. We always jointly have these conversations. You know, it's always guaranteed if I'm here. It is only one person who is on this network so purposely. And I've come to realize, is he a planted agent who tries to sanction the voices of Liberia? He's been jointly supported and collaborated with one of his liberal partners here in the ocean state of Rhode Island. Yeah, Rhode Island is within the proximity of Massachusetts, so their ideologies is common, not as strange. But I'm a little bit surprised. I didn't see this coming. But a liberal progressive of the Sacramento has managed to liberalize this guy, and they are doing everything possible to liberalize this network. That's not going to happen. This is LPR. All voices must be heard, regardless of their political differences and our political ideologies. We must discuss these critical issues, not for, not against. The work of the media is not a resistant group, but we in the middle, right there in the gap as a conduit to interpret, to inform, to educate, and provide choices and allow people to make independent decisions. But where is the independence within the media industries and those who are facilitating these hardcore conversations? Well, talk show political analysts, uh, they are managing to pave their way and begin to the process of being the fixer for the politician. They shield them to put in all the corrective measures and give justifications of their action. Every network you go to, trust me, you will find those people. But there'll be few of us that will stand out to the task. We are here this evening, and very shortly they will be here. We say good evening. This is your first time joining us here. We are wholeheartedly welcome to have you here. Your comments, your tweet, you have the absolute right to disagree with my talking points, the analysts. All we call for on this network to maintain civility, so that we can have a dialogue, we can have a conversation where we can get a takeaway. We are aware at LPR here, discussing Liberia is not about my home, it's not about my personal self. So we'll try as much as possible not to insert ourselves into national conversation. This is the missing link in most of the conversations and talking point around here. They take it to be more of themselves, their feelings, their emotions, their sentiment. Absolutely, that should not be the case. We strongly believe here on this network, every Liberian, regardless of their political creed, differences, or whoever they associate with, they have the right to express, to speak their views, their opinion. But we have a guy here. The liberal progressive is trying to change the main purpose of this network, and we will stand. He's been heavily assisted by his guy, Mr. Jerry Bacon and Terry Collins. I have Dr. Jones and the ANC-based right wing in Atlanta, Georgia, Amos George. He's sometime, we are taking a second thought at him. That man, Sister Goya. Oh, okay, so let's get a conversation going. We say thank you so much for joining us here. Evans, the link is all out there as well. Abu Bibeto Fofana. Good to have you here. Run Said, good to have you here. Oh my goodness. I thought this guy was on vacation. What is he doing here? I will be compelled to take a break to recalibrate because I know he's coming with something that he will try to get under my skin. But I will be putting on my deflector to whatever that comes away. He's here, the scholar himself, Cecil Goya, the guy. He has changed his position from Sanction Avenue to Inauguration Street down to change agent. I don't know what the heck he's still doing. He led a campaign that forcibly retired one of our own Professor Asese Laboza, for which we have been here responsible. We just created the conversations and hardcore questions were asked. In the middle of that, someone, somewhere, somehow was caught in the spider web. And so be it. It's not my fault. Let's get the ball rolling. As fast spend, the analysts are standing by. Let me come right here in the ocean state of Rhode Island. LPR, a security analyst. He advised Jose Newman boycott campaign. He was CDC. Those are the people who brought the alligator to town, and eventually they said, who rides the back of the alligator goes into the belly of the alligator. But he refused to enter the belly of the alligator. Jared Bacon is here, is the security analyst of the Liberia Public Radio. And let me go to Minneapolis, Minnesota. This color himself. I don't know what's going to happen here tonight. You will decide. Cesar Goya is here. Guys, happy Friday. This guy was talking about you yesterday, not yesterday, the day before yesterday. He and the laborers. I told you Jerry Bacon now is being indoctrinated by the liberal progressive on this network. And they are trying to hold on one second. Okay, let me put this guy here. They are trying to do everything possible to liberalize the network and sanction the voices. Thing you and I have fought for. And I hope we will be on a friendly pace here this evening. I'm not saying that coming. That's not a good smile. I know you are about to leave, but today is Friday. I just want you to know that. Mr. Bacontas, Mr. Goya, good evening. Welcome.
Hey, good evening, Mr. So. My brother, Mr. Bacon, how you doing? Look, Mr. So went to mission school, you know, to push up fire. So that means immediately picking a fire in the back, So I understand. Sorry, I've been gone for a little bit. I've been trying to get a sabbatical. So
I know we know what you do, more or less. Yeah, everything is important. The society needs you. So when we don't see you, we know exactly what happens, because if it's on the other side, then we know. Okay, guys, let's have the conversation. The Weashins, what his name? Evers, the link is all out there. The Liberal is on the run. I'm not sure what happened. Amos George, you are most welcome here. Alice Mode, Manifest. Good evening. It's good to have you here. I always follow your good posts as well. Okay, Jerry Bacon, you're going to lead this here today. In the meanwhile, I'm not saying it is not guaranteed. Anything can change anytime, any hour. I who gave you the power, I can't revoke that power. So you know. So I am not giving you that power of Antonin that is going to guarantee anything can happen. But I'm going to start off with you this evening here. Today is Friday. What's going on? What's happening in your backyard?
Well, now it began so say one, so say so you had the power, so you can take it away anytime you want. Oh, that's fine. I understand. I got your point. But however, look, I'm happy to be here. Say hi to all our listening out there, all the analysts. But look, something like you were not here yesterday, and I said something. But then the way you talk, it changed my perspective.
Redemption?
Hmm?
You have gained redemption?
I don't know. I mean, I was not incarcerated, so why would I do redemption?
Oh, okay. I'm just asking a question.
And, you know, and my feeling was, or my feeling now is, look, the way forward, how can we build Liberia? And I thought about it very seriously. And I said, look, instead of come here, what can we do to be the participant of our Liberian future? What contribution can we make in our birth country? So these are the things I've been thinking about very seriously. And we all are here. We are professional individuals, and we need to make significant contribution. I think that's it. But now, when you came there, hold on. When you came there afternoon or this evening, with your introduction, then my brain started working on something different. But my view right now is, look, how can we make Mr. Bwaka to be successful in Liberia? That's what I'm thinking right now. And that would be my more ultimate feelings or way forward. How can we make Liberia better? That's what I've been thinking about. But I mean, there's other things, you know. And let me say this in conclusion. Not because I want to take a different position and nobody going to come here and ostracize Mr. Bokai. Then you got something to deal with.
My goodness. So can we raise our hand to take an oath that what we say is not just only to protect our political Goliath, but the country? Is that what you want to commit yourself to? But if it's a little bit convoluted to say, oh, anybody who will consider that you have me to deal with, you are standing in multiple places. I will hold you right there to which avenue? Which avenue do you live on?
So me?
Yeah. Are you one of those sanction avenue or redemption avenue or where?
No, I'm not on no Sanction Avenue. I don't know no Retention Avenue. I live on Peace Avenue.
Peace?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody wants to be peaceful. Okay, let me go to Minneapolis, Minnesota. The broom guy malnourished, all of the straw disappear, but still there, they're still keeping hands. I'm not sure what the affair would be like in 2029 or where or what they are doing now, but they're still there. They are a greater integer into the political discourse in my brother. Legendary Sister Boyer, you heard the intro of Jerry Bacon. I don't believe that. I don't trust that. You saw him carefully walking back. After he said, oh, well, bro, then he comes back to tell us that when people call a president name, you and he, y'all will go in the hole. What kind of, this guy will not change.
Well, everybody got a red line, man. Just draw on the red line. It may say a red line that when you talk about a changing a battery, you have problem.
Oh, okay, maybe that Benjamin Netanyahu's grandson now. So, okay, I understand that. Okay, look, since it's too much going, our understanding the president is here. We are getting some other information relative to the rest of nations and the possibility more might come. We will come to that. But let's hear you. You being away does not negate the fact that you are not monitoring what is happening inside Liberia on the side in the cyberspace or other places. What is so much of concerning to you, Nance? Let's see what is happening. Let's throw these dials out here and I open it up. What's the latest on your end?
Well, first thing, if I let you just talk about my broom like that, I don't respond. The Honorable Councilor,
don't be like Amon Joy. Not everything you guys. Sometimes I gotta let him go.
The Liberian People's Party will hold me in contempt. Look, let me say something. For our people in Liberia, you know the broom straw, right? When you get a broom from the palm fraud, when you get it from the palm tag, I'm talking the real Liberian way. The brooms they get from the palm tag. When it's fresh and green, it can sweep good. When it's dry, at the time you can sweep properly. You know that. So the broom was fresh and green in this last election. It's not malnourished. It's just dry and it's ready to sweep enough of the trash that gets left over, if any, from this government, or if this government decides to sweep to, the peanut deck towards the wind. You know when you're sweeping towards the wind, right? And be careful behind you. Then you double. So if they decide to do that, we will correct them. But for now, we haven't seen anything critically major that we need to respond to. Having said that, however, I must confess that on the periphery, I got involved from Monrovia to help arrange the meeting for the Liberian diaspora in Texas for the president. I am not in Texas, and I'm not a UPist. But the fact that people within the government understands that some of us have links in Texas. I went to school in Texas. I live in Texas for about 10 years. And to reach out and say, hey, who are the power brokers, who are the leaders in Dallas, and how can we get in touch? I think it speaks volume to people not wanting to, people not afraid to show what they don't know. What bothered me with the last government was that you would have found somebody who doesn't know anything about anybody trying to organize this meeting in Texas. They would have end up having a splinter group of people organizing their own meeting when in fact the true community leaders are kept on the sideline. So I was excited about that. It showed to me a capacity or at least an appetite to work with other people. So that's a good thing. Look, I'm waiting because right now a lot of the meetings they're having, we don't have a lot of details. I am waiting to actually hear what the government of Liberia put forth and what commitments, if any, they got. I am tired, my brother. You know, I talk about this, Mr. So. I'm tired of Liberia always being like the cassava leaf. Our here just like this. We just want and want. And every time you want, without telling somebody what it benefits them to be in partnership with you, you end up getting trash. But that's how people give you $2 million when they give you another $200 million, right? And so I would love for Liberia to make a case, all of these people that they brought, to make a case to these business folks in these spaces. Why is it important to invest and partner in Liberia versus giving out handouts. So that is the one thing I'm waiting for. I can't pass judgment until I hear or see what they presented, but I hope they didn't come with just begging for handouts. I hope they came to proffer the many good things Liberia can offer and how we can form partnerships.
I don't want to be too no-say or pocket, but during the work is more or less to be no-say. They reach out to you. They who?
People in authority reach out to me asking me to connect them with people who were leaders in Dallas and we were able to minimally get involved. But at least the point I'm trying to make is that they were reaching out. And they weren't afraid to cross party lines because everybody know me. I supported Tiawansi Gongo in the last elections. In past times, people would not have wanted to reach out. But there were people, at least there are people in this government that have the appetite to work across party lines to ask people for help. So that's the point I'm trying to
make. The reasons, and we're going to get to some of the issues. The reason I'm saying all of this is I see on the bigger picture, I'm not going the way you're thinking, and now you want to make me to be the bad guy. But the fact of the matter here is part of having people to be inclusive. It doesn't matter whether you supported their political agenda. Okay, we're going to square out. Weir Shins from Minnesota is joining us. He's a strong supporter of George Weir, but sometimes the CDC people don't like him because the way he says it, and so they have their own thinking of him. Evers is joining us from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Evers, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing very well. The weather is nice here, so we're feeling fine. I'm sure Mr. Goya can attest if he's in the state.
I've come to realize, since the Weir reactions were incarcerated, they all start growing year and all those kind of stuff.
All of them have become politicians now. Is
that a preparation for the now so quick?
Now the better the same one that Michael Matthew had. I wanted to how you doing, my man? See you.
Right, I'm good. What's going on? How you doing?
It's good to always have you here. I really enjoy having to dialogue with you to have this conversation. Yeah. So, we're not getting all of the news. You are getting some. Let's turn this camera off. What is really happening in there? Are they waiting a certain period of time? What are your sources? You connect people with this government. We're seeing images. The president yesterday, I think it was a town hall meeting. I listened to a little portion of it, which itself is good interaction, talking to your people. You learn from them. They learn from you. You hear directly how they feel about their country in the past, in the future. We didn't see that much happening. A lot of people came and they felt that only one group of people they wanted to talk to if you have an opposing view, which of course was not a good thing here. But on the overall, without getting all of the details, what is your own expectation?
Well, again, like I said, look, full disclosure, don't make anything blow that before people start calling me here. I am not deeply plugged into this government. I do know quite a few people. Well, I actually know quite a lot of people who have appointments in this government and that have respect for me, and I respect them. However, I think people keep away government secrets from me because you know me, my mom, that I teach police. So I think people give me what they want.
You to be tall.
What they want me to know. But on a serious note, what is happening in Dallas? Again, I don't want to say like this is the end all. Like a president of a country coming and meeting his or her people should not even be something we'll be talking about. So I really don't even want to talk about that because that is the minimum expectation of a government. A president in town, you should meet with all Liberians, regardless of whether they voted for you or they detest you, whether they try to get your battery and hide it from you so you can die during the campaign. It shouldn't matter. At this point, election hearing is over. You should listen to them. So the point I was trying to make here is that when I received that call about, hey, Sisi, man, can you help? You know, we need. I think, yo, sure, I can call Dallas. I know people in Dallas. I know people in Texas. I can call and see who is the president, who are these people. One of the things, and I'm going to say, oh, yeah, I know my boy is not going to be happy about it, but one of the things I really wanted to do that fell short was that there is a Liberian restaurant. There was a Liberian guy, Femi Williams, and his wife, a former a veteran. Why am I skipping my own? She's from Grand Jide. A very good chef, a princess. She has been on the Dallas Morning News. She's been on many publications for cooking. As a matter of fact, Oprah Winfrey filmed one of her Oprah show in their restaurants called Monrovia Lounge.
Wow.
I was hoping that the president will go there
To have a lunch.
and have a lunch, a meeting lunch there with some of these.
Why you didn't tell your folks?
Well,
That was going to be a great suggestion. You should have made that to them.
So when I talked to my cousin, he said, oh, because I think they just had a baby. The wife just had a baby. He said, oh, we closed down for a little bit because we're trying to deal with a baby. And for me, that was the one place I was deeply involved because that's one of the things I wanted them to do, to have gone to their place. This is a Liberian who will cook dry rice, and it's in the Dallas Morning News. And wow. she will cook pepper kala, and it's on major the front page of major chef magazines. This is a Liberian woman from Nigeria County who served this country in the military and is a wonderful chef and runs Monrovia Lounge.
She's not cooking fire. She's not cooking firewood, right?
No.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to tell how but that isn't.
Oh, she
up to the center.
No,
he want to jump inside that.
I had people that were doing events in Dallas, like professional development. I say, hey, go down to Monrovia Lounge. White people and all of them will come and say, yo, it was great. So she is not. I'm not talking kosher. I'm not talking labapido. I'm talking a chef, right? But sadly, for the government, they're prioritizing dealing, with the baby right now. But and so to speak to you about what my involvement was, that's one of the pieces I wanted. I wanted Joseph Imabwaka to sit in their restaurant with these white people and order some pan butter and some cassava leaf and some dry rice and have a working lunch there. Okay. But it didn't materialize because the place is closed. But I would just say this to end, that I am still waiting to see what happens after this meeting, when they put out for us what were all of the offers they put out there and what did they get back. Then we will be able to critique and say, but why were you begging instead of offering a partner? Or in places that you didn't have a partnership, why weren't you asking for more? Why weren't you elevating what Liberia has to offer? So right now, I can't make a judgment because there's nothing out there in the news. And anything I say would be they say, and I don't want to do that to come back and have to eat my words.
Okay. Let me go to Boashins. Now we'll get Wiashin and we'll get Boashins. Jared Bacon Boashin. Okay, Mr. Bacon, on the serial note, the president is here. I'm not sure. In fact, I tried reaching out to Cool Out. We don't know yet. I've not gotten any response. But hey, you're not strange to these guys. You play that key role. Waika is known. It's not a hidden secret. You have, announced it here. You have talked about it here. Are there plans, you think, what are you hearing from your guys? Are there plans the president will reach other parts, regions, and engage Liberians, or everything just going to end up there? It's not even official, but do you think? And the reason I gotta reach out to Kula too, part of that, to have, when they come here, let them try to engage some media outlet, whether people agree or disagree with them, not just only somewhere that people will be answering yes. No. We should try to change the conversations, go to some other places. But let's hear you. What do you think? Do you think the president is going to go beyond the borderline?
Oh yes. Besides somebody who believes in inclusiveness, he doesn't believe in the segregation on wherever you are. Excuse me. Well, I know what the cough is giving me a hard time. You started the whole thing today. Anyway,
I gave the virus.
Yeah, no. Yeah. But here's the thing. What I believe in essential building. Okay, concession builder. I mean, he will be living Dallas, but now I think he's supposed to be in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm not sure, but he's supposed to be in Atlanta, Georgia. From Atlanta, Georgia, he will be going back to Liberia. While he in the two states, he will be meeting with various Liberians from all spectrum, regardless your political affiliation. Look, it's our country. Like I say, he will build a country. So think Liberia, love Liberia, and build Liberia. So these are the three components he have in his arsenal that he want to do. So he's not going to go there and say, look, because you are sedition, so definitely he's not going to talk to you. If you have ideas, he will willing to talk to you. He's not going to discriminate because your political affiliation. And Boyka is coming here, look, like I said to myself, it is time for us to start thinking about Liberia. And I will say here, yet after, it's our responsibility. We that in the diaspora, we the only person that can build Liberia. If you do the index, the money we send Liberia, even doing from Taylor Town to Ellen Johnson Town to George Weah Town to Buckeye just been there for what, 3 or 5 months now. So the resources are here is very important. And we all are on the network, we are professional people. It's about time. We might have a difference when it comes to political affiliation, but it's about time for us to start thinking, what can I do for my country? Or what can we do? Even if, let's assume we are from different counties, try to find a project in your county that you can do. Or go back to your village, the village you're from. Do something. There's a child there today that looking at you. This is the evidence. You, wherever you're from, it is about time. We got to stop the kinship something in Liberia. Because everything we want to do, the president got to be involved. No. So I'm taking a different role. We have to have something done. We got to forget about the kinship in Liberia. What we have rather kinship in Liberia? Because everything we want to do, the president got to face the role, the president got to be taller, the president got to do this. Let's try to take some initiatives in our villages, in our town.
Are you prepared to lead that marathon?
I raised my hand and I'm willing to do it.
Okay.
I am. And to be honest with you, I will have the conversation. If I have the time to meet with the excellency, I will tell him. And he said no. He said, because when he came here, he said it during his campaign. He said, I will challenge all the Liberians that are here. The diaspora will build Liberia. That's what he said when he came to Rhode Island. I think he has said it so many times, not even in Rhode Island. So
have you spoken with him directly or indirectly since he came?
Indirectly.
Indirectly.
Yes, sir.
But most likely close up. Most likely
opportunity we have. If he available, I will talk to him. But I know I have talked to it within the intercycle.
Okay. So Eric.
Yeah.
Okay, the only thing that comes to mind hearing from Jerry Bacon that President Boyka might be in Atlanta, Georgia to go meet with Alexander Cummings.
Oh my God! Don't make me reminisce about the warm welcome that Mr. Cummings gave him, only for you to later on betray him. But let me say this, Mr. Bacon. Look, the most impactful thing that let me restructure that sentence. The best way, to bring forward change, widespread change, is through legislation. So one person going to my village in Grand Judah and building one house there or maybe one hospital, yeah, it will help those few thousand people. But when the government have a systematic policy to build 5 or 6 hospitals in Grand Judah that's going to be running there with the taxpayer money, and they're going to make sure that the medicine, the cabinets are stacked, qualified nurses are there on government payroll, that's more effective than me going there and doing one thing. But let me just say this about the diaspora. I think we tend to overhype ourselves, those of us who are in the diaspora, too much. we are also a reflection of the Liberian people that are living in Liberia right now. The greatest, advantage we have is we're here, we're making quote unquote US dollars, and we have more economic power. And for some of us who went to school, we have that education. We went to some of the best schools, or at least decent enough schools. But in that same breath, collectively, as diasporans in Liberia, what do we want right now? What change do we want to effectuate in the country? I remember credit to former President Weah, but even though it wasn't perfect, the diaspora were crying out for dual citizenship. He granted that to them. Apart from dual citizenship, what do we want as a collective? What can we lobby this president for that we want here in the diaspora? Do we want to be able to vote? Is that something that we've, it's been like a consensus that we want to go and be able to vote, in America, while the elections are going? Are we pushing that agenda? What are we pushing? So all of these talks that President Boyka is going to be having, whether it's in Texas or in Atlanta, the reality is, what are we asking for? Because these are opportunities to engage your political leaders, or not even the political leaders, but your president, the leader of the country, and to ask him for certain things and to lobby for it. So I don't know what the agenda is. So when I look at people from Atlanta, when I look at people from Texas or people from Philadelphia, what do we want as a collective in the diaspora? Maybe Mr. Goya has some good ideas. And another thing I want to say, I've had this conversation.
I can respond to that. I can respond to that before.
Okay, one second, I'll wrap up and then I'll pass it back. I had this conversation during the week. Many people was disappointed in President Boyka. During the election, I was one of the staunchest critical of President, then Kennedy Boyka, but now I've taken a softer tone because of the respect I have for the office of the presidency. But I say this, and people think I'm maybe deflecting, or maybe I'm defending the president. But not to blow your not to toot your horn, Mr. Goya. But how many Liberians of the caliber of Sister Goya do we have in Liberia? Because it's easy to be here in the West, right? The nation is made up of the sum of its people. When you average it out, that's the best you can get. So when people think that one man coming to the head is going to transform the middle and the bottom, it's not going to happen. We don't have the quality of people with the capacity that is needed to run, our governance system in that country. Bureaucracy is something that is very intricate, and you have to have educated people with the experience and the education to do it effectively over a long period of time. And right now, if I ask you, look at the next 10 years of graduates from high school and colleges, do you think those are going to be some of the best and brightest people who are getting the best education in 10 years' time, who will have experiences that will translate into government jobs? Most likely not. So when it comes to preparation, future preparation for governance, we're in the doldrums. So no matter who you put there, that's why you see people in the diaspora always feel advantageous, because they feel like they have the best, education, they have the best, experience. So they look at themselves as the most qualified as compared to the people in the country, because they know the educational system is not up to par. They know people don't have the kind of vast wealth of experience that they do in this country, and competitive environment that we have here. So they always put their hands up because they feel like they're the most qualified. But the people in Liberia, I hate to say it, they're more important than the diaspora. I don't like this whole idea that we're the most important group of people. We're going to build this country. We're minuscule compared to the numbers of people that's in the country. We're talking up to 5 million people. I think we have maybe less than 5, or maybe even less than 300,000 people here in this country, in the diaspora. So we are a very little, a number. And those of us who are qualified, who got education, who got experience, is even smaller than that. So even if you take all of us and carry us back to Liberia, we can't all work in government. So it's an uphill battle. That's why I'm not blaming this president for some of the failures, because I think that the people around him, the caliber of people and the quality of people and their capacity is just not to the level of a transformation that we want to see in the country. So no matter who you put there, you're always going to have some of these lapses. Corruption is always going to rear its ugly head. You're going to see people who are incompetent or showing signs of incompetency. So for me, it's going to be more of the same, no matter if it's Boyka or whoever else comes after him. That's just my early observation. I'll pass it to you, Mr.
Okay, quickly here, Mr. Bacon, you say you wanted to add something?
No, I'll give Susan first. But here's the thing. He make my case. He make my case. Look, he talk about the government. The government is not the answer. Let me go Ronald Reagan. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Ronald Reagan. The government is the problem. We have to go in the private sector. The private sector is the way to go. So you right here, Evans, if you go back to your village, I know you have some connection here, just by all the time you're in America here. If you can find 2 or 3 individuals who can go back to your village and say, look, sanitary wise, we are not happy. Educational wise, we don't have it. Road construction, we don't have it. We can educate our people. When I say we want to be the diaspora, it doesn't mean that we want to subordinate those in a back home. No, that's not what I'm saying. The ideas that you have, it's not only about academic. You can do finances, you can do consulting. There are so many ways that we can help our people. Here's the thing. The private sector. Look at our education system. You look at the education system. Look at our government institutions. Do you know how many times in the University of Liberia been closing down? Because of adequate payment. Whereby the private institutions, they are functioning. You must say we are disadvantaged. I don't know your background, but I'm from way from in the bush. Way in we probably even know where we are in Liberia anyway. Okay? I was able to come from B and come here and found my way to be in the States, to be where I am today, to be on national TV. It's applause. So it is about time that we are here to go back into our village and say, look, this is how I came from. To be inspired, our people. There's somebody from your village right now look at you and want to be like you. Or about somebody that you look at and say, yes, when you were in high school or when you were in elementary school, that's somebody that you modelize yourself and say, you know what, I want to be that individual. So it's not about we going back there and subordinating our people and say, yeah, we are the boss of Bureau, we got the more ideas and everything. No, we don't. It's a thing, it's entrepreneurship. How do we engage our people? What best can we do for our country? So these are the things I'm talking about. I'm talking about we're going to go there and say, oh, no, we got the brilliant ideas and all over the world. No. But the idea is we have to engage in our people. We have to engage in our community where we are. How far can we do? The president cannot do everything. Then I come back to the same thing I just said from the beginning. What we have in Liberia, kinship. We had the president say about the kinship. Somebody want to build a house, you got to go to the president. You got your land dispute, you got to go to the president. You even want to go. You want to have baby, you got to go to the president. Oh, Mr. President, the president member said, huh?
Can I ask a question? I know I just spoke, but I want to ask a very important question.
Hold on, we're going to have it. 10 seconds, Jerry Land. Let me go to.
Yeah, so these are the things we have to start focusing. How best can we help our country? You in the place that we have responsibility and obligation. Just fight. God has blessed us to be here. So it is time for us to go home and help our people who in need of us, no matter where your ethnic background is, or where your economic background is, or where your education status is. There's some way you can make contribution. Go ahead with your question.
Okay. All right, thank you. No, let me please permit me to ask my question to him. You'll answer quickly. You know, I was wondering if you disagree with my statement that the greatest, effect or the greatest effect on the people is through the government. It's not through just 1 or 2 individuals. Because if you want to go do business in Grandia, are you going to pave the road from Monrovia to to Ganta and then through to Zwerju? You can't do that. You don't have that kind of money. So government has to effectuate that. They have to make the policies that will make the business environment more conducive to have a successful business in those places. So the government plays an important role. You can't take government out of it and insert ourselves to take on the role of government. Government have to build roads. They have to build infrastructure to make sure you have a successful business. So my point is, do you disagree that government can do the best, the greatest quote unquote good for the society rather than individuals?
I don't. The government. Look. Go ahead.
So,
let Mr. Zizi come in. I don't want to.
Yeah,
I will give you the opportunity. But what I can say, look, the government is an institution for us to work with. But as a private individual, yes, you can make a great impact. We don't have to do everything. The government have to do everything. But the government is responsible to build it rules. That's their responsibility.
So yeah, what I'm going to say. Here's a reaction. You are abortions. We're not going to have a two-way conversation here. For what we're going to do. Let me just bring Sisse in here. Sisse, you started off out front, and that's a very critical point in terms of people that form part of the president's delegation, because for the most part, we have all complained. You bring people. What next? Is this some sort of exhibition for people to sit and chill and stuff? Because when you go into, especially there are certain conferences, the nomenclature of this conference, the U.S. business, the name alone that I attach, it's a strong, powerful tool. Now, we don't know precisely when the president will be returning, what's going to come next. What could this president maybe have considered forming his delegations? And we are not the one to make that decisions. It's within his purview. But coming to such a sort of huge conference, because at the end of the day, you need something in dividend to your country. We need to respect to the people you're going to bring, the institutions, the sectors they're going to be representing in this sort of conference here. Are these people having some sort of big wide meetings? At the end of the day, we will be given a thumbs up or whatever.
I don't know. That's why I said from the beginning that I will wait and see what their after action report is. Because if you brought Mo Ali here, we better be talking about, we're talking with investors and businesses about how to revamp and redo the water delivery, sanitation, and sewage system in Monrovia, and including in their recycling of waste. If you brought an LTA director here, we better be talking about how we're going to improve telecommunication in Liberia, and that we met with telecommunication companies and that we presented to them proposals on how it can be a symbiotic relationship with all gain and not a parasitic one, right? And so for me, I'm waiting on that. But look, Elvis says something, and I want to tie it into this conversation. And I know my brother, Mr. Bacon, wants to defend this government. The last time, George, we talked about the same thing. People asking LeBron to go back home and build Tolly and like my papa, the later people will say, I'm not being right. And look, the government has a social contract with the people. You told the people, if you do this, I will do this. Yes, we understand that government does not solve all problems, but government creates the enabling condition for problems to be solved that it is not able to solve. As of yet, meeting with investors is a good thing. What have you told Elvis that encourages him that he can invest in Liberia? Or is this question about helping Liberia almost always seems like I go and build a toilet, I use my family resources, however meager it is, I go and build a school, and then nobody able to take care of the school. I got to run a school free of charge on my personal money. That is not attainable. That is not a sound financial decision. I would never make that decision. It doesn't matter how much I love Liberia or my village people. I can't do that. So if a country cannot set up to me, and as Joe Boakai, the president, explain in these meetings with these Liberian groups, I haven't watched all of them, telling them how is it that the investments will be protected, and how is it that he will ensure that they are not robbed of some people. In some cases, people have taken their retirement money and try to invest them in Liberia. There are no stories about that. So just telling me that the government can face everything in Liberia and Sisi go out here because I in education, I'm going to open 5 schools. Who's going to run them? I can raise the money to get partners to say we'll build a school. I am not taking my family resources to run a school in Liberia unless it's a private entity and I know I get a return on my investment. period. If you can't do that, if a government cannot clearly articulate that and lay that out, we are always going to have the same problem. Ellen complaining, George we are complaining, Joseph Walker. If you don't tell me how my investment will be protected, I am a numbers person. The math got to make sense. I don't do philanthropic mathematics. If I'm going to give, I give. But I don't take my family resources or my retirement money and invest it somewhere where there's not going to be a return on my investment.
Cherry Barker seems to be it's not going down to war. Jerry, is he missing the mark?
I'm listening.
No, I mean, you listen.
Oh, yeah, sure. No, listen. Baby, no, listen. Here's the point. I'm not here to defend the government. I'm not a spokesman for the government. Well, I want to look. Here's the thing. Go read the EEU report. It is determined in the third world country. Talk about corruption. It is determined. The EU report 1998 or 96 report. It is determined by individual. How do we do urban mobility? The toilet you refer to, that tell you that the income level is increasing. I mean, the person is coming from the swamp to that of the income, because you know what, we have outside toilet.
Hold on, before you muddy that thing. No, because you're trying to muddy it. Hold on. By me building a paid latrine for my community, for collectively people in one place, it means that they're upward mobility. Don't do
listen,
that.
Listen. This is what I said. Listen, when you are based upon their income, they are leaving the outside toilet and they are moving into an infrastructure building. There's an upward mobility. Okay. All right. No, that's coming. So that's why I wanted to make sure of private. You talk about your private. If you take your money as a private individual, of course, the government responsibility to protect every individual in our border. What I'm saying to you here is, look, we as a Liberian in the diaspora, wherever you are listening to us tonight, or whatever daytime or in the evening, I want to appeal to every one of us. It is time for us to start thinking, to go and you just said it. No, wait, hold on, Mr. So he just said it, that it is about time Liberia people shouldn't be what? Kasawali or beating their hand over, or who should be or parasitic. That's a word.
I said the government, not Liberian people.
The government. Oh yeah, but I mean the government. There you go. The government should be.
Mr. Bacon.
Yes, sir.
What we're talking about here, like we see here, they have both local, the federal, they provide subsidy. I'm not sure whether our government have the capacity to do that. You're telling me to go. You're telling he to go. Is GOL, does it have the financial capability to provide subsidies? And then the question, if you say yes, then the question would be to all the small businesses that are in Liberia, how many of them, they need to tell us, maybe they have done so, and these people, they were not able to pay back. We saw here when the market went down zero, government came and bailed people out. Part of that is to empower them to keep the system running, because there were people who were working for these entities, these businesses, and they know that in the private sector, this is where the job grows. So what the government did, the government pumped money into these people because there was a crisis, financial crisis, is to build them out. Do we have that capacity to do that? Because when you're telling people to go, it's not just a matter of telling them to go. They can go. What next when they get there? That's the argument.
Folks, let me go back. Go back in the 20th century or the 19th century. Look at Lanco.
Why will you take me?
I know, I'm coming. I'm making a point. I'm making a point here.
Oh my goodness.
Look at our private sector. What benefited from it? You talk about small business people. I'm not talking about those that are making Willa market. We're talking about somebody who will create a tangible job in the country. Not just somebody who make Willa market or somebody who sells in a shop, who works to the shop. We're talking about somebody who will invest a capital to be able to sustain, to hire at least 5 or 20 or 30% employees in the country. That's what I'm talking about.
But Mr. Barker,
the government is not going to solve all our problems. If we say the government is going to solve our problem,
That's not what we're saying.
You are finished asking. You are finished asking.
I think Mr. Bakon is trying hard to defend the indefensible. We haven't even pushed the ball yet to your defense. We just
No. I'm not.
Everybody
here. Hold on 1 second, Bakon. You say you remember he said that I will end anybody. That's what he's doing now.
Well, let's just look at this. What Evans stated here was not even an attack. It was, so
I never look what I'm saying here. Look, listen, what I'm saying here, I never defend. I'm saying I'm defending what I hear. What I'm saying to myself here is, look, I'm not speaking for the minister.
Even though
Real Madrid man, cheer.
Let's say this.
Okay, yeah.
Blanco was a multinational, transnational, gigantic investment. That's not one person. So to even bring that in this conversation with just the money in. Here is the point I'm trying to make. So say I raise my hand. I want to go and establish an educational institution in Liberia, a for-profit educational institution in Liberia. I will raise the bar and set the pace for what critical quality education is supposed to be. I guarantee you, if I said that right now and I was serious about it, Elvis would invest in that. There are a lot of people who would trust me and say they will invest in that. We carry that money to Liberia. What I haven't heard from this government is, how are you going to ensure that unnecessary bottlenecks don't get me frustrated and get my income depleted without me achieving even setting up the structure in the first place? The government has not addressed that. They haven't told us that. So if the old order that has been there, that has been choking investment, there are a lot of Liberians that have complained about shipping continues back home and they get charged massively, and it cuts into the margin of profit. So what happens? People are shipping through Guinea. The government has not addressed that. So if you cannot address that to me and tell me how, I am going to talk to Evans and say invest in the next 5 years will be profitable. If I cannot tell Evans that, then I'm going to take Evans's money to Liberia. I'm going to spend it paying people to sign one paper somewhere, or the minister now you got to. And by the time I'm done with that unnecessary bottleneck, I've already used my investors' money. We find those happening over and over. The point I'm trying to make here is, until and unless the government can really lay out and articulate clearly how they're going to remove those bottlenecks that cut into business people bottom line, a lot of Liberians who are interested in businesses and other things, they're going to keep holding their money back. It wouldn't make financial sense for me to hold my money back, because I don't want to go spend my money just trying around and lose all my resources. Especially for somebody like me, I got to teach American poetry and Lebron poetry again. Yeah, I mean, whole day. After the finish, yeah, I'm stressed me now until that money somebody go eat in Lebron for free. You know how painful that would be?
Look, Mr. Goya, let me come in quickly, Mr. Soul, permit me. Look, Mr. Bakon, good education is very expensive. Mr. Goya will attest to that. Even though we have a public school system in this country that's can be effective. But in Liberia, if you take a person like Sister Goya there, with his level of expertise, and he wants to open an institution of learning, right? Let's say a secondary institution. He's not going to go hire the quote unquote flagajet teachers there because they're not going to be the most effective. He's going to look for the best and the brightest teachers. That costs money. So it's not a charity. I'm sure he's philanthropic in his personal life, but when it comes to school, you need people that have the qualifications, the expertise, and sometimes the gift. There's some people who are just gifted at teaching. And those people cost money. You have to pay them. So what does that mean? You're going to almost eliminate 90% of the Liberian young kids because they can't afford the school fees for that school. I have a family member who wants to send her daughter back to Liberia to go to school. And we think, we thought it's a ridiculous idea because the child is struggling. She's a single mother. She feels like the family would pay more attention to the child while she works. It's a whole long story. But the point is, she wants to send her to an American style school. And myself, I was surprised. There's a school there, I think it's called like Heritage or something. It costs $20,000 a year to go to that school in Liberia. Imagine. In Liberia, I'm telling you, I couldn't believe it myself. I'm like, 20,000 a year? That's even more expensive than some of the private schools here in this country. So the point is, good schools in Liberia is very expensive. And Mr. Goya, like you said, I'm sure he's doing well, but he's not going to go spend his family money. I know he has a beautiful young daughter that, I'm sure he's funding for college and other things. He's not going to go spend $100,000 to build a school in, whatever village he comes from in Lofa County, just so they can say, oh, Sister Goya built a school here. Because the reality is, he knows how school works. You need a superintendent, you need a principal, you need people who are going to manage that school. But not just managing it, you have to give the best possible education. And in doing so, you need to hire competent people who know their work, who know they have the skill set, and you have to pay them good. The people in Lofa in your village or Asian environments, they don't have that kind of money to pay tuition to that school. So who's going to subsidize it? Is President Boyka and the government going to subsidize? Let's say if you say the school fee is $1,000 a year for each student, how much is the government going to subsidize? They're probably not going to do it. So the point here is, individually, we can build our country up collectively as a government and with strong policies, and then you implement that policy by collecting tax revenue. That's why, yeah, the private sector is important, because the more you build your private sector, the more yield in taxes you will get every year, and you can invest that back into the nation. But the government is the best effectuator of change and positive change in the country, because they have the largest a resource, a human resource and financial resource. They can do the most quote unquote good in the country. So let us not, delude ourselves and think that, oh yeah, in America, I made some more money. Let me go back to Liberia. I'll be the big man. I will help, maybe 10 or 15 people. And that way I'm helping to rebuild the country. Fine. It's a drop in the bucket. To effectuate the biggest and widest spur change, you need the government to do it. So the government is important. And like I said, I'm not blaming President Weir or President Boyka. But right now, we lack the capacity, the amount of people that we need who are competent, who are in the mode of a Sisi Goya, in the mode of maybe a Mr. Samson, so engineers, people who have this vast wealth of experience. Most of them don't want to leave the comfort of this country to go to Liberia, to be driving on dusty roads, to be drinking, maybe water that is not as clean, for lights to be going out every few hours. They don't want to do that. So you have to find that caliber of people who are in Liberia, who are in the environment currently. And you don't have many of those people in the country. So we're just a reflection of the quality of people we have, this kind of government we have. And that's going to cut across any kind of president that we have now or in the future. That's my point.
One free advice before Mr. Bakon, I know he wants to come in. We did an analysis, because here in Minnesota, when I was at Brooklyn Center, quite a lot of the Liberian students, when they come from Liberia, they either end up at Brooklyn Center or they end up in Osceola. And we did an analysis. A lot of the kids that come from those very expensive schools, in Liberia, by Liberia standard, they are high, they're exceeding. They come to America, they are below grade level, sometimes 3 years below grade level. So please tell your sister, if she's thinking, say, it's hard to watch her child, the child is going to come back from Liberia and cannot be able to compete, they will be below grade level, even if you're paying the $20,000 per year.
All right. Okay, guys, let's take a quick commercial break, and the phone lines is being activated to our viewers and listeners. If you're joining, if you're watching, you can also have a say. Let's welcome our own Abidjan to Bureau Chief, Benjamin Tibet is joining us live from the beautiful city of Abidjan. And of course, Antonin Kesali, so we're watching from Buchanan Grand Bassa County. This is why it's important when we come to these sort of national conversations is survey, and this is what we always do here. Sometimes the cat is own baby, become very critical here, and we just how we hold people accountable, we should also be held accountable. Let's take a quick commercial break, and the phone line is activated. You can call and also make your contribution. We'll be right back.
Do you want to share your events with the world? Why not contact us? We are Liberia Public Radio, LPR. We are the specialists in advertisements, commercials, radio and TV services. We have the professionals that can help you sell your products and provide live coverage of all events, such as weddings, conventions, graduations, reunions, anniversaries, sports, birthdays, baby showers, religious activities, funerals, and many more. Take your phone right now and call any of the following numbers: 682-433-8802, 267-648-6089, 484-786-3337, or 916-533-2048. Our customer service representatives are waiting to take your calls and give you the needed assistance. It is LPR, the home of excellent media services, and your friends in business.
There you have it. There, just in case, it doesn't matter where you are, as long as you are here, you're in Liberia. There's a lot of event going on. So just for us to be at your service, let's provide some outstanding services to you. Then you give us some money. We don't just want to beg. Yeah, so you want to advertise your business, let us know. You have a big event, you need coverage, let us know. And there's no way we will find it in that event. There's a planned event right here in the Ocean State of Rhode Island, and we will be there. So, guys, again, the number there is 682-433-8802. The line is activated. It's available via WhatsApp, just in case you are outside of USA and you want to participate. You can also say here, Sister Goya, let's start with you. And I'm gonna go strictly to your belly button education, which is your
It's heartbeat.
I'm forgetting introduction. Papa, introduction. He's still bringing it back.
yeah. No, the thing I'm trying to bring here, and I think we need to find length of time, because I was talking to some kids today, and what they are doing now, this mock exam, right? I think they take, was it one or a couple of days, but as of next Wednesday, they will be sitting for WIRE for 3 weeks. Wow.
Regular power number one. Have to be.
Let me not just put this number on. I'm not sure what I call it.
Are you coming for this time?
It's just suggested. I want to know what are these honorable calls for the show or something. I don't want to just get a.
Okay.
Hello?
You got to mute, Mr. So.
Yeah, why?
Yeah, I think you was asking your question, so maybe you can answer that question. I'm sure you know where it was going.
No, I think Mr. Barker wanted to respond to a few things. Let's let him respond. Then when Mr. So can again ask his question.
Look, here's the thing. The federal government of the United States, less employees. The only department that had a higher employment is the defense. Look at it. Defense is the highest.
Okay, let me just interrupt. Let's go to Beijing, China, or I don't know, Champagne, whatever it is. Mr. Divi, are you there?
I'm here. How are you?
Good. How are you doing? We just wanted to make sure. I just didn't want to just throw it in, and then somebody can't go spill the water all over the place. I guess you've been monitoring the program, correct?
Yes, I've been monitoring the program.
Okay, let's hear you. What are you doing? You go see Chen Jong-hu, or where you go do that?
Okay, well, the sake of the problem, my name is Analysts, and I'm in China as an international student. I'm a Liberian. I study in China. I'm a master's student studying cybersecurity.
Okay. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I've been following the show, and by my experience as it relates to the government encouraging people to go back home to invest, or even to take back their expertise and all of that. I know stories and I know scenario. I know so many people that are frustrated in Liberia when it comes to the government appeal that they go back. Beginning from Madam Serif time, Liberians went back. People saw the properties back home to serve, to contribute, and all of that, and they have their own stories. I know personally of Dr. Nathaniel Beseji, an educator, a very experienced person, associate professor who went back to Liberia to serve. Today, he's being frustrated because of standard. He was at the Tubman University when the president, the Commission on Higher Education nominated him, and he went through the vetting process and all of that. by standard and assigned him at the Grand Bazaar Community College at the time as the president. Because he wanted standard, the politician could not allow him to stay there. They wanted the issue of the sports system, where they do it at their will and not to do it the way people want to do it, that the students there should be educated or should have standard like you have it in America. And those people fought him. The very nobody can get them today. They are the president, who have the president delegation are negotiating with people to go back home. Ask them. The higher committee on education in Liberia says that you must have a PhD, an academic PhD, to serve as president for a university. Today, they take a man that had degree in divinity, Dr. Henry, and send him there because he's a Baptist man, and Joseph Boga is a Baptist man, and they offer a rescue team, so he must go there. That's a sports system. You dare to go to Liberia because the people are appealing to you, you get frustrated, and you won't know what to do. Like the other panelists were saying, before you register your company, they will push you around. You go to the other place, you spend unnecessary money, go to the signature fee, go to the same amount of Liberia, and you can't do the Liberia way. And you will get frustrated. Those people are not willing to set anything different, to make any difference, to show that indeed they are ready to move Liberia one step beyond, even to move the needle just an inch. They're not willing to do it. But when they come back to America, or they go back to America, they behave that they are ready and they are appealing for people to go there. That basically were ran out of the Grand Bazaar Community College because the crime that he committed was that he wanted standard. He said that he's going to take the school to a bachelor program. And we cannot get bachelor people here teaching bachelor. This professor here all the teachers here should go now and advance themselves to at least get master. And people felt like they were taking their other job. And so they get against him, the faculty get against him, and the politicians supported them. And they pushed that man out of that college. Today, they are sending anybody they want to send there, and they don't follow any standard in Liberia that is set for higher education. They just do whatever they want to do. You got to show picture or baka on your t-shirt to show that you're in a rescue mission, or somebody got to recommend you before you get something to do. And they encourage people to go back, to frustrate these people. And they're not willing to teach anything. I'm calling that Obeseji's name because he's living in Liberia right now. He's a living witness, and people in Basa who are listening to me will tell you 2018. That's what happened when I was a student at the community college, and I was advocating for that. This standard is necessary, and the teachers should go back to advance and say all of that. And people felt he was putting in other jobs, so nobody could have listened to us at the time. And these things are still happening. The professional people are in Liberia, and they are willing to serve, and nobody giving them opportunity only because they are not participating. Only because they are not participating, or they are not willing to go the Liberia way. To go sit down to one senator horse in the morning from 6 to 10 o'clock in the morning to carry out their file to lead out to the senator organizing. So they cannot allow them to get in the space. When they come back to you people in that place, they pretend to say, oh, it's well, and when you go back with this service, you'll be respected. That's lie. That's lie.
Okay.
I think people who are listening to me need to be careful because I'm telling you what happened there, what is happening there now. People are not changing anything. Currently, as we speak, the mayor who have, if I send Samuel Rees, who they say at the community college right now, he had 3 jobs: the pastor's job, a preaching job, and the community college job, only because he from the Baka Sako. So these things are still going the way it is going, and nothing changing. So my people, when you're saying it, at least the other panelists are saying the right thing, that you don't just put your money somewhere that nobody going to support it, nobody going to. People build schools. They have millions of dollars that UN invested in that country, and they have buildings that in other places that Fitwa. They built a very big a very large building there. No teacher. No student. They would have went there and say, yeah, this place is better for to put a building, and they put real investment $1 million there, and nobody doing anything with that building is there. But if you try in number 3B, it is there.
Can I ask the caller a question?
And send it to you and tell you if I'm lying to you. So many structures are there, and government is not investing in it. Government not putting teachers there. Government not willing to do anything there. And they come back and they say, we need people to come and help. We need to do this. We need to do that. The ones that are there, are they meeting them? Are they trying to do anything that will encourage people to go back and do what they're supposed to do there? So Joseph Boga just came, and when he said before the Liberian community, sometimes they had to say something. And when they say it and you don't investigate it well, and you take a last minute and put it there, I'm sorry. That's what happening to our country.
So, Mr. Caller, at the conclusion of your studies, do you plan on going back home to help the country, like Mr. Bachman was saying, or are you looking at other opportunities elsewhere, outside of China, outside of Liberia?
Personally, I thought of going home to contribute because I'm from a very poor background, and I feel that coming here was people who helped me to come here. My parents never even have money to send to international school, and there's a need to go back to help other people, at least to help somebody to get opportunity. But currently, you know what some of them are doing, even the politicians are saying, Basel, when I go back, we'll see who will give me a job. I'm here, and when I raise issue on the radio that Basel, sometimes the journalists come to the interview me, when I tell them the plain truth, they start to tell me that when I go back, we'll see who will give me a job. They start to playing and have to push me around. So for me, I told them, if I don't get a cybersecurity job in the public, because the president, the government, nobody willing to say we want to create the bank, whoever they are supposed to pay you, you go where the one bank, they say they want to pay you 500 per month, pay you 300 per month. You're not willing to do kind of things. What I can get involved with, maybe to contribute by teaching, or whatever. I've been in China for 6 years. I know goods I can buy $100 in China. You may carry by library and sell $200 or $300. I want to invest in my own business. Why would I want to go back and be liability on government that other people have been? But the truth is, they are not willing to provide space. I had a friend currently that studied disaster management and protection at the Harvard University. There are only 5 people in our country now that I can say, yeah, they graduated with bachelor degree in that profession. You have horses burning all around. You have different disasters taking place, water flow, everything taking place. These people don't have jobs because they're not policy. Nobody giving another job. The government is not looking for those expertise that are needed now, those professional people that are needed now to help the country. But I'm talking about digitalization of the country to train young people into IT. I have the computer science. I got bachelor in computer science. I'm doing masters now in cybersecurity. When we are having to go back tomorrow to say we want to contribute, we got to be practicing. If we're not practicing, our expertise will not be allowed. Will not be allowed to even make a inch in the place.
That's why I asked that question.
And for people that ask for us to do those things, to tell the truth, so many people gather from China, gather from India, gather from other places with a profession there. They are there right now to help to change our country, at least to the digitalization. I'm talking about instead of doing a 1 week training, you're talking about 1 week training to train people in the e-commerce and all that. How can you train 10,000 people in 1 week? Why are you talking about? They are joking with technology in the country. And so for us to go back, it should be that's a very system that you put on the standard that before you get into the civil service, you can do that, you can do that, you can do that. When we can reach the standard, they will go for the job. Okay, it cannot be on a partisan basis. Community is a partisan basis. So for me, if I happen to get opportunity to go elsewhere, I would choose to stay elsewhere than even to go back library. But if library is the only option for me to go, I don't want to be frustrated. I get involved with business and maybe start my own business or whatever I can do. So we want to pay me for my expertise. We pay me for it, and I be want to work for them. Other than that, I cannot go by and say I will go into government. I won't do that.
Okay, Mr. Diri. Yeah, thank you so much for being out this time. And this is what we do here. We discuss these issues, and we don't insert our personal self feelings into it. We also, as we discuss these critical issues, we also try to put forward solutions. Maybe somewhere, someplace, someone that's listening, this thing here now is too much. Look, somebody called today on LPR from China, they think we need to do something about it. And it is quite true. Most of the things that we are saying, because people don't like to be told the truth. If you can't blow their trumpet, their bandwagon, you can't throw their bag, you are not part of it. You either with all or you against it. And we have all politicians, you either with all or you are enemy of the state or whatever it is. But let's communicate. Let's communicate with our government here. If we were to put forward a solution, what should they be doing? What should they be considering? I will try to move forward to build new Liberia in this sort of a modern age. What would be the softened message or tone that you want to send to this government and subsequent government to come?
I think the standard that Madam said is started will be better, where she had a president young professionals, where she has what they call a merit system. She was not excellent 100%, but there was no way you could be even a police officer and have bachelor degree and they still pay you as a patrolman. Now, these people turn around, George, you have turned around the time that you must be partisan, you must have the beret on your head to show, and before you get promotion, whether you get degree or you not get degree. Burger King, for the past 100 days, we are not seeing him going back to that standard of merit system. We see him bringing people who don't even have degree, who don't have any fire service training whatsoever as number 2 person in fire service or appointment or in terms of ranking. So we see like they are not moving the middle, they are not changing anything. What we think the government can do is to put up the system, the merit system that will encourage everybody to go back to school. Take, for example, 2006, 2007, when Madam Seri brought up downsizing issue. Everybody started to go back to night school because you couldn't be a policeman and you cannot show high school diploma, you can't show anything. You got to go back to school. So all the night schools start getting packed, all the universities start getting packed. Everybody started to know that you must get education to be promoted. Now you get education, you must know nobody, you must know direct, you must know peace before you get promoted. Other than that, you cannot get anything. So until we go back to the center of merit, we go back to the standard of the professional standard, or we go back to what the panelists were talking about, the set standard. Until we set that standard, we don't have standard in the system, we don't have system, we don't have standard, and we just think that anybody can be whatever because you said I would say yesterday for the government, or you were on the radio yesterday promoting Baka, so you deserve this job. If we don't go back to that, Liberia had a distance. We are very far from getting what we want. The places of Zimbabwe, no, we're running to Rwanda. The apartment in right now have a 3 Rwanda right now, or 2 Rwanda right now in this apartment that I'm in. They come from Rwanda and they come here to go to school in China as well. But Liberians now are running to Rwanda to go to school when the children are moving from there going elsewhere to go to school. Only because we don't post standard in place, we don't make our own place decent or anything. So when you see Rwanda picture, you say yes, we're going to Rwanda to go to school.
Do they teach you in Chinese or in English in China? That's my question.
My program is in English. My program is in English. There are schools that teach you in English and schools that teach you in Chinese. If you come, Chinese language is a requirement. So you do Chinese language for the 2 semesters. For your admission letter will tell you that the entire program will be done in English language. So we learn English language. We are foreign teachers, and we even have Chinese teachers that are teaching.
So do you guys have like associations of professionals or some sort of a group? Do you guys have a organized organization there? Students. I mean, like a student.
We are the Liberian Student Union in China. We are the LSURC. We are here. We are in our numbers. We take care of Liberian students who come to China, who are studying in China, non-degree programs, bachelor programs, master program, PhD programs. We have track of people who are studying. In fact, the current agriculture minister is one of our veterans.
Okay, so do me a favor. This line is on WhatsApp, like you are calling it that. If you can talk to the leadership that, and we can have a few of you guys just to have a conversation. I think that would be a thing. I mean, so for us, we feel everybody's voices must be heard, including you don't have to be in government, you don't have to be lawmaker, you don't have to be some presidential person. I think all voices mattered in the rebuilding process of Liberia. I think it would be very good to hear from the students who are preparing for future responsibilities in Liberia. I will appreciate that. You can message me, we can get that going.
Oh yeah, no problem. I'm going to connect you to Cephas. Cephas Johnson is our current president. I'm going to connect you to him, and if he's willing to go on radio, he will go on radio. But many of us are not brave to go on radio to express ourselves. We got both feet, got to go back home and dance to the tune and all of that. Willing to come out and talk.
I mean, we're not here. We don't cause people here with no mark causing, no par causing. We just talk about I don't think people, even if they are on government scholarship, not to buy more of government, but I mean to speak the ills in society. That's the essence of education. If you learn, it has to be put into practice. You can't get your head stuck in the mud and your fast senses rolling out. So I mean, just for us to have this conversation, we don't want to assume.
Some of you are even here in America, and at least America here people to see something different. But people leave from America with the education they have in America, with the left standard, the stars they have in America, they go back to Liberia and pretend that they are not seeing any good life before. Yeah. I think it's just intended to keep the people at the bottom, so that the people can continue to clap for them. While their children are in America getting better education, that the children should continue to have sustainable education, that when they come back, they'll go back and they say, your pa used to be my pa friend, and your mom used to work with my mind, and your family now support me. So the chain of supporting them should continue. Take, for example, Brunson's father was senator of Grand Bassa County. Brunson himself became senator of Grand Bassa County. His daughter came back, she want to be leader of Grand Bassa County. The team, so they keep the same people there and come back. They use their pa, use their children, use their one, the cycle continue. Keep you at that level.
That's a monoform.
So you don't recognize that that's a monoform. That's why we are.
Okay, well, man. Thank you so much, Ellis. I really appreciate your time. Yeah, please work that out, and you can call me anytime, message me, whatever time it is. Time interval. I know it's an issue, or maybe you might be in class, but
Yeah.
just
For now,
throw.
it's money
Yeah.
out to us. So that people can be online too.
Oh,
Contribute on this.
okay. So
It's
let me
money
know.
to us.
Oh, okay. But thank you so much. All right. So, Cecil, let me put you here before we go up here. Now, this is a serious issue. When people hear this sort of narrative, they hear these stories, which most of them are real-time, lifetime story. They begin to have a second thought. Jerry Bacon, you seem to be reconsidering your decision for us to talk.
Contemplative.
Yeah.
Listen. Oh, is it me?
No, I just saying something that since you are going to, but I probably kill this what I thought you put you in city. I thought you a man from China put you in some sort of promo. But anyway,
No, but look.
Elvis, let me hear that word again with the
I mean,
So I don't know, but I don't have for
prevent some kind of war. But say on a serious note, Jerry, I'm going to be coming to you. How this sort of it sounds when people who are willing to help, and even to have the profession, right? If you're not part of an institution, you are not part of a group, you are not easily incorporated. I know you. It's a tough one though. So we all the other point is that we all can wear green barrel, red barrel, or blue barrel in order to be part of the system, or what? How do we go about finding a solution to this kind of problem? Do we need a national conference on that one to get our government, present and future government aware? Hey, please take a bullhorn with blowhorn. You gotta be looking out there. I don't have to be part of your party. What the hell do we do?
That worm you're trying to take from my throat, you're not giving that today. I know exactly where you're going. I've been with you long enough to understand when you want you to pay my mouth and I'm doing it. But look, here's the point I would say, right? The caller made a lot of salient points. And Elvis was saying something that I want to re-echo and rephrase, if he allows me. And it was about, we are not that many in the diaspora. If we put it upon ourselves to think that we have the solution and we have to be the drivers of change in Liberia, it's foolhardy. You didn't say it quite that way, but that's how I understood it.
That's what I meant.
The brother in China kind of alluded to that because I'm connecting the dots. He kind of alluded to that. Look, we have to change the way we've been trying to fill this brain drain ever since the Liberian Civil War, where educated people were executed, sometimes without any crime. The only crime was they were educated, and then what I like to refer to as the deification of ignorance started. Who started worshiping at the altar of stupidity and ignorance and illiteracy. Where when we say somebody is educated, that is a way of insulting them. And we blame all of Liberia's problem on the educated class. And the educated class did not help themselves. I was talking to one of my buddies, I said, the educated class now, quote unquote, especially the diaspora and educated class, they are almost like the new Congo people. You know how the Congo people send their children to America to come get educated and go back and take the jobs? And then the indigenous, and I'm not saying this to be sectionalistic, it's just facts. And then people that be on the ground or the indigenous stuck that haven't had a chance to travel out of the country, always had to be junior staff. It's what the diaspora and educated class wants. We want to be able to leave from here to go to Liberia And our brothers and sisters on the ground should always be junior staff to us. I think for the government to be functional, the people on the ground have to be utilized. That is what you have. You have to shape them and frame them and sharpen them in the way that you need them to be. And to that point, I has been one person that's been pushing for us to stop sending people to America on scholarships, sending people to Europe on scholarships, and sending people to Asia on scholarships. Instead, let's get technocrats from these places to go to Liberia and teach there and train people there. You get more bangs for your bucks if a Sisi Goya goes to Liberia and I can teach 20 teachers in a year. For instance, you're taking one Sisi Goya and sending to America to come and get their education. It costs more money for you to fly me here on their tuition than it would be to carry one professor or have a partnership with a university or some of these think tanks to go back and support. I think that's what needs to be done. But Elvis was pointing out something. I'm only one person. Like, even if I know education and the math inside out, you're not going to put me at one university or at one place. Everybody else that I need to be in partnership with me, in conjunction with me. Look, change is hard. Agitation is difficult. It requires people with like mind to be in community with you to move that forward. If you don't have that, it's a problem. It's a difficult problem. So I'm not putting this at the feet of Joe Boakai alone, President Joe Boakai. This has been a systemic problem. But if we are saying that we want to change stuff around, I think we have to start rethinking everything that we've done before. Sending 5, 6, 7 people to Harvard University to get prestigious degrees, and after they leave government, they no longer serve the country. They leave and come to America or go to Europe and get prestigious jobs. They have not invested back into building other people's capacity in Liberia. What is the return on investment to the country for that investment we made in them to go to Harvard or to go to Yale or to go to London? What is the return on investment? Has the government really done an analysis on how much money we spent to educate people and what is being the return on investment to the republic? Or we just continue doing the same thing every time? You know, so for me, you know, I was giving brother Jerry a hard time. Yeah, all of you know me. I've always said it doesn't matter which government is in power. I offer to Madam Salif government I did not like. I wouldn't use the word hate because it's a strong word. But whoa, I would have preferred the executive mansion be empty than to have her in it. Like have a casket in it than to have her in it.
Oh my God!
I'm just saying. I didn't say she should be dead. I mean, it should be empty. I would have preferred no president than Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. That's the point I'm making. But even for her, you know me now. Even for her government, I offer to help. I offer to help President Weah's government. I'm offering to help this government. I'm offering to help not to go to Liberia. I keep saying this over and over. My cartoon pushing job here. I will not leave it to go to Liberia to go work. It doesn't matter what position they give me. Well, unless they make me deputy vice president. They create me alone.
So you want to be to Jeremiah Kong?
Yeah, but they got to create it by law now. So you got to go through constitution and everything there. I know they want me for true. But on a serious note, what we are able to do from here, we will do from here. We will support from here. We have to be able to build the capacity of the Liberians that are in Liberia. And right before I be quiet, because this is down close and to me and it's personal, the University of Liberia for the longest time have stopped offering a major in mathematics. We don't graduate people with major in mathematics at the University of Liberia. But we have governments upon governments telling us that they want to invest in STEAM or STEM education.
How do you do that?
Do they realize the M in STEM, that is the foundation for everything, is mathematics? And President Boakai government is still talking about the STEM education. It's a good thing. But who are the educators that are teaching the STEM education if we're not offering credible degrees in mathematics? And you heard my brother just talk about cybersecurity and technology. That's the T in STEM. So it seems we're not even doing that either. So I think people are always happy with writing good things. But when it comes to really making sure those things work, I think the appetite is not there. And I will continue to say, if people want Liberians in the diaspora, after all of the experiences that are out there that other Liberians have had, from the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf time to President Weah's time, and to now take another chance and take their family's earning or their retirement and go back and invest in Liberia, this government is upon the shoulder of this government.
I have a good news.
Us think different.
I have a good news for you.
Yeah.
The rescue is here. And but you know, the rescue started a long time ago. How they brought a boat to, they brought a boat, was that in Green Basso?
I think Grand Basso, that what you call it thing, fan boat. We'll get a fan on it again. You know, the light boat.
Where a boat at?
It's still functioning. It's in Buchanan.
Why they may always let her give me a hard time? I mean, supposed to ask for that boat, Bennett. But before this, the foundation that was able to raise that money, the Joseph Nyuma Boaka Foundation, I actually was a board member on that foundation. So I got to.
Oh, you are the one raising money to buy the boat?
I can't say that. I'm just saying.
Okay.
And that is why people couldn't understand that I was on the foundation, but I did not support for presidency. And they couldn't understand that. And I had to take my time to explain to people, and they still would not understand. But that's a whole different conversation.
But that boat, they need to give it to the Navy or Liberia Navy, something there.
I got that kind of boat ride in the Everglades in Florida.
I was serious ferry down in this Everglades. That 1 minute they used to catch the alligators there.
At least they transport the people, they're not getting drowned. That's
Where
running at?
What?
What a boat running?
From where to where?
They're running Idana.
My man,
Idana and Buchanan.
Mr. Bacon said, at least they eat their own. The CDC ate clean. The airline their stomach getting down here.
At least they're transporting people, they're not getting drowned.
Look, man, let me say this quickly, Mr. Sue, before we go. You know, one of the things that I didn't.
Go ahead.
Yeah, one of the things I didn't hear at all during this campaign, and I thought Erling had something, that had to do with it, but maybe I was wrong. I was imagining it. A 10-year educational plan for the nation. Erling would have probably effectuated that perfectly because she spent 12 years there. But a 10-year plan in this country. People don't know what American 10-year educational plan is, but one of the biggest plans that they have is that it is mandatory that every child be enrolled in school. If your parents don't enroll you in school, they're in trouble. So that will help to bring down the illiteracy rate. That would make more people literate. That will help, build a foundation for higher education, for people who want to go on to higher education. I haven't seen a concrete plan, a 10-year, or even a 5-year plan for a national educational plan. I don't know what President Boyka is doing. He never even mentioned it during the campaign when he talked about his arrest plan. So how are you going to help the people in Bokonjide, the young kids? I know Topper has something, mathematics where he talked to, some of those Mandingo people to put their girls and put their kids in school. But encourage every parent that their child has to go to school. Matter of fact, it's the law that you must send them to school. Even if it's not the kind of quality school that we want to see in our country, but let them go learn ABC, let them go learn 1, 2, 3. It must be a law that's passed that every child under a certain age has to be, over a certain age has to be enrolled in school. It has to be that. We have that in this country, we can have it in Liberia. I don't see why not.
It's there, they had it, they passed an act, the Liberian Education Reform Act in 2011. That's out of that out. Now the problem is, Elvis, and I'll shut up quick for Mr. Barcom to come in. The problem is that we are good at writing things. We're really bad at implementing things. They actually, in that act, I will share with you, in that act, what they did was they created school districts, and they created localized control of education. But ask me again who are honorables of those school districts in those various school districts, even if the people in Zaza know that they have a school district in Zaza, ask me again if that is the case. No, it is laid out correctly, but it hasn't been effective. So yes, it is in an act, and if like Article 6 of the Liberian Constitution guarantees that, but we don't do it.
Right.
Okay, what a fascinating conversation. Jerry Boishin Bako. Oh, no, Jerry Bacon Boishin.
You know, I didn't know where to start from because all these people here, they talk part of Tabata tonight.
Oh God.
Hmm?
Oh my God. This is a second to the. This is another something to hear. This guy will not change. You hear what he says? You're talking about that tonight. Am I part of that?
Are you
Well, if they have faith, you can put it. If they have faith, you put it on. If they have faith, you can wear it.
My head do be no I can feel my head, so I know that would be.
Mr. Soda, Mr. Background talking to.
Okay, me and
Don't worry. Look, my brother Evans. Look, here we are. Like I said, go look at arrest. What is it? AREST? What did the E stand for? What? Education. So he talk about education. So that one part sort of it. So you question whether Baka did not make during his campaign, he didn't do what he did. Look, folks, here we are. If you, as a Liberian in the diaspora, wherever you are, England, that my brother said, train England or train India or train any part of the 7 continent or 6 continent, wherever continent you're trained.
There you go.
No, you're not change you. My uncle said at 17, we're keeping it at
17 continents.
Okay. Wherever you are, it's our responsibility and obligation.
Wow.
Look, the late candidate said, ask not what you can do for the country, but what you can do for the country.
Oh my goodness.
So there we go. It is our obligation and responsibility. Look, you're my brother says it here. And you're my brother Evans say here. On a renowned.
Don't hold me on. I don't want to.
I was you'll be there with later. On a renowned, millions of people watching you tonight or tomorrow. Yes.
You sure?
Okay. 12,000 or whatever people watching.
Yeah, thousands, yeah.
Okay. But here's the point here. If you want to do something in Liberia, you have to hold the government fire to the gates. Go to them. Look, I'm an educator. This is my plan. Go and sell your idea to the people. Don't be a sycophant. Or don't be intimidated and go there. So, oh, go there, it's not going to happen. No. Go there. Sell your ideas to the people, to the president, not to the president, to the government, and say, look, these are the issues. I have the potential investor want to come into this country, but these are the standards we have to meet before we can bring the people into this country.
Guys, my hair is pounding right now. We gotta
go.
That's
a pound.
Yeah, I think we gotta go.
We gotta go. Cherry back on is giving
so for you to come here, look.
Now my hair is beating.
Yeah.
This guy will not change.
One of the questions he asked him, he did not respond. People taking street and taking 3 weeks to take national exam. Why waste our age? Why waste
no, what I'm gonna get.
You answered that question. There was a
question.
You were about to ask for the guy from China.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna have a.
This guy from China. He jump out top out of rhetorics. Because we can bring personal feelings to this thing. If you want to be an analyst, you talk about somebody who hired somebody, or you gotta be this one. Look, you talk about fire. Check quite recently. They check fire department. Check for graduates for the Fire Institute.
Okay.
You can't dispute the fact that there's been cronyism in his government. You can't dispute it.
Yeah, let's just say.
So let me close on two things. I will touch briefly on the question we're going to ask about YA because it will be unfair for me to leave without that. Look, here's what I'm looking forward to. The new MCSS superintendent, especially, and maybe even all of the new county education officers. And I haven't seen the full list, whether they've appointed all of them. They cannot do much to change what probably is going to happen as an outcome of the examination when we get them. What I am going to be very critical about is when those results come out and we treat them as business as usual. And we talk about, and we're graduating, 50 people graduating, and we don't sit down and parse the data and say at MCSS, where a lot of the downtrading children go, where a lot of the market women children go, here is the percent of girls or females that fail math but passed English and did this. Here's the percent, and here is what we are going to do to ensure that we close that gap. Here is what we are going to do to ensure that we increase the passing rate. If I don't hear that, if I don't see that coming at minimum from the Ministry of Education and from all of these people that hold local last authority over education, they are going to have one serious angry educator, and it's not going to be fun. I would love for people, it is not their responsibility right now, but we have to look at the way forward. As educators, when you get data, you say, what is the data telling me? Where are the gaps? What are some of the things we recognize? How are we going to recognize what are the things that led to that? Is it teacher qualification? Is it student social emotional learning that we need to deal with? What do we need to do to ensure that we don't get the same result that we got this year, so that for next year, the next set of people who sit are going to produce a better result? And for those people who fail, what are we going to do for them to ensure that they are not shamed out of the educational sector, but that they are encouraged to go back and reset and continue the progression towards whatever they want to get to? That is what I'm going to be looking forward to when it comes to. I'm not going to be worried about what a 10% pass, 5% pass. I'm going to be looking at what are you going to do? Now we have the data. What are you going to do about it?
I think, Sissy, maybe we need to get other people to expand on this here. Here is a text message I'm getting from an educator, an author here. And this is what he's saying. The facilities for education must be provided across the country, quality schools, informed teachers, structures, and well-paid teachers, and supportive school districts. So I think these are things that people want to be hearing now, because it is what.
So that is my, because I think you wanted to hear about that. So that would be my, without going deep and further, that would be what I'm looking at. Now, my last thing to close, I'm going to tell all of you, I told you so. Elvis, last time you were here, we talked about this, and you said, nah, when I said that the Secretary General of the party, the chairman of the ruling party should not be in government, and that was going to be my fight after MCSS as the next fight. I'm going to tell you, maybe the man alone. Darius DeLon 3 days ago alluded to my point when he was on OKFM and he talked about part 5 of the Code of Conduct. Buying these people from holding high party leadership and also holding government position. I say, hey, Jesus, I hope my brother Elvis listening. And let me pick up what he meant.
Let me just give you a secret. Here's the secret. The secret is they want to take him from the chairmanship and then investigate him for that money that he supposedly embezzled, and then fire him from the government so he'll be left empty-handed.
But
and the guy don't want to do that.
Even Amos Stewart, the Secretary General, have to one thing got to give way. You got to be Secretary General, or you are the managing director.
I'm not leader RV and come with Secretary. When election coming again before.
Okay, guys, it's late though. Gotta end it for the night.
So, Mr. Gerald, the liberals texted me and said we never treated Mr. Barkon fairly. You see how this guy, you see how he stirs up trouble? Mr. Barkon, did we do anything wrong here to you tonight? I mean, your patron, that's why your patron is sending me here. He's telling me, he's telling me, just say Evans will pay the price. He's trying to threaten you.
He said he will deal later.
Yeah.
No.
You get when you get screen number when the liver there, when Terry there, then you know you above the chest.
The man say we didn't do anything wrong, guys. Say
But,
always
then wait till next Thursday. It was nice being it's nice seeing
All
you.
right.
Sorry, I've been
Thank you for having me. Good night, guys.
We'll hope to see you again. Thank you
It's
so
good.
much.
Look, keep the dialogue going. It will be all right. Liberia will be all right. It's our country. We'll have to rebuild our country. That's what I can tell you guys. Thank you.
And I tell you, don't worry. Then Labro Master, you say, don't worry, that your blood pressure and cholesterol come and go all that. That's what I want to hear. Thank you so much. Have a blessing.
All right.
Okay, folks, that's how we're going to draw the curtain down here this evening. Alice from my channel, thank you so much for sending the student leadership contact. I would definitely reach out as well, and our phone lines will remain open. I think we need to broaden this national conversation, and the government is in place. So we're going to look at other sectors in government, professionals, people from across the country. We have to forcibly include everyone. You don't have to be in Morovia, you don't have to be in Bikana, you don't have to be in Sino. Once you are Liberian and you want to do for your country, you are outside of the country, your voice must be heard. And that's exactly the conversation we're going to be having right here. Until then, folks, I am Afonso Z and Sort of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. If this is your first chance, and for whatever reason we did not throw that rare carpet for you, we say we are sorry. But always leave your comment, your suggestions as to how we can enhance the quality conversations of this network, because it is not about us, it is not about you, but it is about the country. And so we care less of people who wants to get in feelings, emotions, sentiment, because they want to be a worshippers of their political godfathers, these gorillas who are not doing so much, but to just hold on to state power. We can't stop you from supporting who you want to support, but we want to say do it for a national cause, to the extent that if your choice is not doing the right thing, raise your finger with respect. Say, yes, I supported you, I still believe in you, but I disagree with you disrespectfully on this policy. It is not in the good interest of our constituents, our districts, and our county, and it is not nationalistic. That's the courage we want people to have. And this is why LPR is in the business to empower. Be a voice for yourself. You can be the only person to make your case. You can tell your success story. You can tell your narrative. Do not wait for someone to tell your own story. It's the same as do not allow people to define who you are. Once that happens, you get a long way to explain. It's like a damage control. You're going to be explaining, and it's just going to be a waste of time. On this note, we really went over the time, 10:24 Eastern Standard Time. Have a pleasant evening. By God's willing, we will be back here. And let's keep praying for our country, for the good of everything. Let's go back to Greater Liberia with this beautiful song, Anna. Ladies and gentlemen, to welcome to the show, I am Afonso Zienso, and this is today's editions of LPR TV Live with the panelists. The panelists are here in full to discuss, dissect, and critical issues affecting our